Chapter 46 Sri Sai Satcharitra Baba's Gaya Trip Story of Two Goats. This chapter describes Shama's trip to Kashi, Prayag, and Ganga, and how Baba, in the form of his portrait, was ahead of them. It also describes Baba's reminiscences of the past birth of two goats. Preliminary. Blessed, O Sai, are your feet, blessed is your remembrance, and blessed is your darshan, which frees us from the bond of karma. Though your form is invisible to us now, still if the devotees believe in you, you get living experiences from you. By an invisible and subtle thread, you draw your devotees from far and near to your feet and embrace them like a kind and loving mother. The devotees do not know who you are, but you are skillfully pulling the wires that they ultimately realize that you are their back to help and support them. The intelligent, wise, and learned folk fall into the pit of the samsara on account of their egoism. You save by your power the poor, simple, and devout person. Inwardly and invisibly, you play all the game, but show them you are not concerned with them. You do things and pose yourself as a non-doer. Nobody ever knows your life. The best course, therefore, for us is to surrender our body, speech, and mind to your feet and always chant your name for destroying our sins. You fulfill the wishes of the devotees, and to those who are without any desire, you give them bliss supreme. Chanting your sweet name is the easiest sadhana for devotees. By this Saharan means, our sins, Rajas and Tamas qualify will vanish. The sattvic qualities and righteousness will gain predominance, and along with this, discrimination, dispassion, and knowledge will flow. Then we shall abide in yourself and our Guru, who are one and the same. This is what called complete surrender to the Guru. The only sure sign of this is that our mind gets calm and peaceful. The greatness of this surrender, devotion, and knowledge is unique. For peace, non-attachment, fame, and salvation come in this train. If Baba accepts a devotee, he follows him and stands by him day and night, at his home or abroad. Let the devotee go anywhere he likes. Baba is there ahead of him in some form in an inconceivable manner. The following story illustrates this. Sometime after Kaka Sahib Dikshit was introduced to Sai Baba, he decided to perform the thread ceremony of his elder son at Nagpur. At the same time, Nana Sahib Chandorkar decided to perform the marriage ceremony of his eldest son at Gwalior. Both Dikshit and Chandorkar came to Shirdi and lovingly invited Baba for these functions. Baba asked them to take Shama as their representative. When he was pressed to come in person, Baba told them to take Shama with them, and that after doing Benares and Prayag, he would come ahead of Shama. Now mark these words, for they show Baba's all-pervasiveness. Taking the permission of Baba, Shama decided to go to Nagpur and Gwalior for the function and ceremonies, and thence to Kashi, Prayag, and Gaya. Appa Kote made up his mind to accompany him. They both first went to Nagpur for the thread ceremony. Kaka Sahib Dikshit gave Shama 200 rupees for expenses. Then they went to Gwalior for marriage ceremony. There Nana Sahib gave in Shama rupees 100 and his Vyahi, that is Mr. Jatir, him also rupees 100. Then Shama went to Kashi and then to Ayodhya, where he was well received in Jatar's beautiful temple of Lakshmi Narayan at Kashi, and in the Ram Mandir at Ayodhya by Jatar's manager. They, Shama and Kote, stayed there for 21 days in Ayodhya and 2 months in Kashi. Then they left for Gaya. In the train, they felt a little uneasy on hearing the plague was prevailing in Gaya. At night, they alighted at Gaya station and stayed there in Dharmashala. In the morning, the Gaiwala, that is the priest who arranges and provides the lodging and boarding the pilgrims, came there and said, "The pilgrims have already started. You better make haste." Shama casually asked him whether there was plague in Gaya. "No," said the Gaiwala. "Please come without any fear or anxiety and see for yourself." They went with him and stayed in the house, which was a big and commodious vada. Shama was pleased with the accommodation provided for him. But what pleased him most was the beautiful big portrait of Baba, fixed in the central and front portion of the building. Seeing this portrait, Shama was overwhelmed with emotion. He remembered Baba's words. After doing Kashi and Praga, he would meet ahead of Shama and burst into tears. His hair stood at end, his throat was choked, and he began to sob. The Gaiwala thought that he was afraid of plague prevailing there and therefore was crying. But Shama inquired of him how he got that Baba's portrait from. He replied that he had 200 or 300 agents working in Manmad and Punatambe for looking for the convenience of pilgrims to Gaya, and from there when he heard the Baba's fame. Then about 12 years ago, he went to Shirdi and took Baba's darshan. There he wanted Baba's portrait hung in Shama's house, and with Baba's permission, Shama gave it to him. This was the same portrait. Shama then remembered this former incident. The Gaiwalas joy knew no bounds when he learned that the same Shama who obliged him before was his guest then. Then the both exchanged love and service and were most delighted and happy. The Gaiwala gave him a royal welcome. He was a very rich man. He sat in a palanquin and made Shama ride an elephant and attend all the comforts and conveniences. The moral of the story is this: but Baba's words come out true to the letter, and unbounded was his love towards his devotees. But leave this aside. He also loved all creatures equally, for he felt that he was one with them. The following story will illustrate this. Two goats. Baba once returned from Lendi, where he saw a flock of goats. Two of them attracted his attention. He went to them, caressed and fondled them, and bought them for 32 rupees. The devotees were surprised to see the conduct of Baba. They thought that Baba was duped in this bargain, as the goat would fetch rupees 2 each, and the most 3 or 4, that is 8 rupees for both. They began to take Baba to ask for the task. But Baba kept calm and cool. Shama and Tatya Kote asked Baba for an explanation. He said that he should not store money as he has no home and no family to look after. He asked them to purchase or as a cost 4 seeds of dal, that is lentil, and feed the goats. After this was done, Baba returned the gift to the owner of the flocks and gave out the following reminiscences and story of the goats. Oh Shama and Tatya, you think that I have been deceived in this bargain? No, listen to the stories. In the former birth, they were human beings and had the good fortune to be my companions and sit by my side. They were brothers, son of the same mother, loving each other at first, but later on they became enemies. The elder brother was an idle fellow, while the younger was an active chap and owed a lot of money. The former became greedy and jealous and wanted to kill his brother and take away his money. They forgot their fraternal relation and began to quarrel with each other. The elder brother resorted to many devices to kill his younger brother, but all these attempts failed. Thus they became dearly enemies, and finally on one occasion the elder gave a death blow with a big stick on the latter's head, while the latter struck the former with an axe. With the result, both fell dead on the spot. As a result of the action, they were born as goats. As they passed by me, I once recognized them. I remembered their past history. Take pity on them. I wanted to feed them and give them some rest and comfort. For this reason, I spent my money, for which you reprove me. As you did not like my bargain, I sent them back to the shepherd. Such was Sai Baba's love for goats. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace to be all.